Sarah stared at her phone screen in disbelief, the bank notification glowing mockingly back at her. $175. That was all that remained of what should have been a substantial tax refund, money she and her husband had been counting on, money they desperately needed. For 2 years, Sarah had dutifully filed joint tax returns with her husband Mark, trusting him completely with their financial partnership. She believed they were building a life together based on honesty and transparency. Every month, she watched him write checks for child support, never questioning the amount or asking to see the receipts. She trusted that he was handling his responsibilities like the man she married. The devastating truth hit her like a physical blow when she discovered where their refund had actually gone. $7,000, money that belonged to both of them, had been seized to cover Mark's unpaid child support. Money she had earned through her own hard work, money from her own taxes, gone without her knowledge or consent. The betrayal cut deeper than just the financial loss. For months, maybe years, Mark had been lying to her face. Every time he sat at their kitchen table, writing what she assumed were current child support payments, he was actually just keeping up appearances. Every conversation about their budget, their future plans, their shared financial goals, all of it had been built on deception. Sarah felt physically sick as the implications crashed over her. How many times had she contributed her own money to their household expenses because Mark claimed to be tight after paying child support? How many sacrifices had she made, believing they were struggling financially, while he was actually just avoiding his legal obligations? The woman who had married him believing he was a responsible father discovered she had been subsidizing his deadbeat behavior. When Sarah confronted Mark with the bank statement, his reaction was somehow even more devastating than the original deception. Instead of remorse, he showed irritation. Instead of accountability, he offered dismissal. He looked at his wife, trembling with betrayal and violation, and told her she should be grateful that his debt was now cleared because it meant he could contribute more to their household. The twisted logic made Sarah's head spin. Did he seriously expect her to celebrate the fact that her own tax refund had been stolen to pay his back child support? Did he think she should thank him for finally meeting his basic legal obligations as a father, obligations he should have been meeting all along? Mark's anger towards Sarah's reaction revealed the true depth of his selfishness. Rather than supporting his devastated wife, rather than acknowledging the betrayal and violation she felt, he turned the situation around to make himself the victim. He was angry at her for being angry. He was frustrated with her for not immediately accepting his warped reasoning and moving on. Sarah realized with growing horror that Mark's child, a minor still requiring ongoing support, would continue to need monthly payments regardless of this back debt being cleared. His claim that he could now contribute more to their household was meaningless because his legal obligations hadn't changed. He was still required to make the same monthly payments he had been avoiding or underpaying for who knows how long. The woman who had thought she married a partner discovered she had actually married a financial manipulator. Every joint decision they had made was tainted by his deception. Every sacrifice she had made was based on lies. Every plan they had built together was constructed on the foundation of his dishonesty. As Sarah sat alone that evening, processing the magnitude of the betrayal, she realized this wasn't just about money. This was about trust, honesty, and respect, all of which Mark had destroyed with his selfish choices. She had been unknowingly enabling his irresponsible behavior while making personal sacrifices based on false information about their financial situation. The injured spouse form she would file was just the beginning. While it might help her recover some of the money that was rightfully hers, it couldn't repair the broken trust or erase the feeling of being used and deceived by the person who was supposed to be her partner. What do you think about this situation? Is Sarah overreacting, or is her feeling of betrayal completely justified? How would you handle discovering your spouse had been lying about major financial obligations? Share your thoughts. We want to hear how you would navigate this devastating breach of trust.